Al Capone. He was known as Scarface, and during the Prohibition era, he became one of the most powerful and feared gangsters in Chicago. This is the story of Alphonse Gabriel Capone, his rise, his reign, and his fall. Al Capone was born on January 17, 1899 in Brooklyn, New York. His parents, Italian immigrants Gabriele and Teresa Capone, arrived in the U.S. in 1893. He was the fourth of 9 children and grew up in a working-class immigrant neighborhood. Expelled from school at 14 for striking a teacher, he took on odd jobs and joined juvenile gangs such as the Junior 40 Thieves, Bowery Boys, and Brooklyn Rippers. In 1919, Capone moved to Chicago, where he began working for influential crime boss Johnny Torrio. Together, they built a criminal empire based on bootlegging, gambling, and prostitution, seizing the opportunities offered by Prohibition. Before Chicago, Capone had ties with the 5 Points gang in New York, but it was in Chicago where he truly expanded his power. In January 1925, after Torrio survived an assassination attempt, he retired and handed control to Capone. Under his leadership, the Chicago outfit became one of the most powerful criminal organizations in the United States. At its peak, it generated an estimated $100 million annually. Yet Capone's reign was marked by brutal violence, especially against rival gangs like the North Side Gang. The most infamous moment came on February 14, 1929, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. 7 men linked to Bugs Moran's gang were murdered in a garage, shocking the nation. Though widely suspected, Capone was never convicted due to lack of solid evidence. Capone's influence extended beyond crime. He bribed police, politicians, and officials, and shifted much of his operations to Cicero, Illinois, where his control was nearly unchallenged. By 1930, the Chicago Crime Commission named him Public Enemy No. 1. Despite his power, the law eventually caught up with him, not for murder, but for tax evasion. Investigations revealed he reported almost no income from his vast criminal operations. In June 1931, he was indicted on 22 counts of income tax evasion, and in October 1931, he was convicted on 5 counts, receiving an 11-year sentence, fines, and back taxes. Capone began his sentence at Atlanta Penitentiary in 1932, enjoying certain privileges. In 1934, he was transferred to Alcatraz, where his health deteriorated due to years of untreated syphilis. By 1938, he was diagnosed with neurosyphilis, and in his final years in Alcatraz, he suffered confusion, disorientation, and mental decline. Released in November 1939 due to his failing health, Capone received treatment in Baltimore before returning to his Miami Beach mansion. He spent his remaining years as a frail, confused man, no longer the feared Scarface. On January 25, 1947, he died of cardiac arrest at age 48 and was buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery in Illinois. Capone's legend has endured, making him an enduring symbol of organized crime in 20th century America. Films, documentaries, and books continue to tell his story, reminding us of the corruption, opportunity, and chaos of the Prohibition era. Today, with AI, we can bring his image back to life. But the question remains: was Al Capone a product of a broken system, or simply a man without limits?